Okay, so in this video, I want to show you how I solved the problem of my selector switch not working on this NordicTrack recumbent exercise bike. But now this problem that I'm about to show you could happen with anything that has this style of a panel, which has these flat surface selection switches, buttons, whatever you want to call them. And what I'm about to show you was a very, very simple fix, and I solved it with the only tool I used was this screwdriver right here. But I did have to take this thing apart. Now, before we go ahead and take this thing apart, let me just make sure, and you make sure, that your situation is the same that I'm having. So right now, my situation, the problem is solved, so I can't show you what it was like, but just imagine if you hit the 12, nothing happened. You could hit it as hard as you want. You could press it really hard. Hopefully you haven't pressed yours too hard or stuck something in there, because actually the problem is not here at all. It has nothing to do with this. It has something to do with a ribbon wire inside. And you're probably saying, what the hell is a ribbon wire? And well, we'll see that when we get it apart. But first, let's make sure you're having the same problem and you're in the same situation. So here's my problem. It wouldn't work. So what are my options? My option is throw the bike away and buy a new one. I paid $500 for this bike when it was new in 2007, and I've used it for many, many years on and off. And I really don't have in my budget just to go and spend another $500 for a bike that has just one button not working. So I could purchase another control panel. This one's loose right now because I have it ready to take off. But I could purchase one of these. The last time I looked, about I think 6 years ago or so, this problem, that's when I had this problem the first time. One of these cost, it was over $200. And I'm saying that's almost half the cost of the bike. Why would I want to spend another $200? So I can't throw the bike away. I have to purchase another one. I can't purchase one of these. So what harm? I have nothing to lose than if I took this thing apart and at least just looked inside. Now, what is my electrical knowledge? I know that red is positive, black is negative, and you unhook the power to something before you work on it. That's all I really know. So let's get right to it, and I'm going to show you what I did to solve this problem. And the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the screws from the back. I'm not going to, well, let's see, maybe I can video it. Hold on. Okay, so here's what the back of the unit looks like. Of course, mine has a lot of dust on it. The fan is dusty, but essentially you're going to take, and they're already removed right now, but you're going to take the 4 bolts out that hold this whole panel on. And then once you have that, let's see if we can get to the next part where we got to remove some connectors. So, okay, there are the connectors, and it's going to be hard for me to hold the camera. I'm trying to do all this with one hand. There went the screwdriver. But essentially, you have a clip right here, and you just want to push that clip. See if I can get a better shot of it here. You just want to depress that clip, and this will pull apart, and this is your main power. And then the other one that's down, where is he? The other one that's down in here just goes to the pulse meter in the handle grip. So let me go ahead and disconnect these, and then we'll look at removing the screws and separating this. It's, again, very, very simple. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to remove the 4 screws. And I'll put a link to this screwdriver in the description box in case you need a screwdriver like this if you don't have one. But if you have any Phillips head screwdriver will do. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. And I'll speed this up so you don't have to sit and watch me take each one of them out. Okay, so we have all the screws removed, and notice how the wiring comes out underneath of this kind of fan shroud back here. Mine is broken, this unit. Actually, this whole thing fell down the stairs while we were moving it from one apartment to another. But anyway, now that all the screws are out, it will open up. But you want to open it very carefully because it will not fully separate. It will not fully separate because there are wires from the battery trays connecting to here. So let me see. I hope that I can get this on video. I hope the lighting is good. But this is the ribbon cable, okay? Hopefully the camera is catching this. Let me just double check and see. Okay, I have to stand up here. And this is the ribbon cable. And this is the connector for the ribbon cable. And all I did is I took this thing apart. I didn't know anything about it. And I seen that this ribbon cable here correlated with this here. This side here has another ribbon cable over here. But this ribbon cable looked okay. I still did this right here, and I hope the camera here, let me stand up again, make sure the camera's getting this. You pull this back. You just pinch that and push it back carefully. And you're doing this stuff carefully, but not super carefully. I took the ribbon cable out and I inspected these electrodes, and they looked fine on both sides. I couldn't really seem to see anything that, you know, appeared to be out of the ordinary. So all I did was put it back. Now keep in mind, on this particular connector, this thing is what's going to go down and pinch. So this blade right here goes in that groove. And you know, if you're not sure about this kind of stuff, what you do is you take a picture of it before you take it apart. Now, as you can see, I'm having a little bit of difficulty, but that's only because I'm trying to look through a camera and a light while I'm doing this. There, we have it in, and put it back. So now, what did we do? Essentially, all I did was take it out and put it back. Let me explain why I did this. When I took this thing apart, as I've told you earlier in the video, I have no real electronic knowledge. So when I took this thing apart, essentially all I was doing was looking at stuff. I didn't really know how to fix anything. And I looked at this, and just for the fun of it, I took it apart. I put it back together. After I put it back together, I didn't know that I had done anything. But when I reassembled the unit and hooked it back up, it started working. Now, I must also say that usually when I have this problem, I've had this problem usually in the warmer, hot, humid months. And the room that this is in let me say that again. The room that this is in is not an air-conditioned room. So it gets hot and humid in here, and it would be in the hot, humid months is when I would have a problem with 12, and then eventually the problem would go to 13, and both of these wouldn't work. So 6 years ago and this is now September of 2020, 6 years ago was when I had the problem the first time, and then I stopped exercising, stopped using the bike, and then took this apart, did what I just showed you, reassembled it, and it worked. So about 2 years later, it happened again, and I just quickly popped it apart, did what I just did. I didn't clean it with alcohol. I mean, you could technically rub a little bit of alcohol on those connectors just to clean anything corrosion, but they look fine. I just stuck them back together. They worked. And now here we are, the third time in 6 years it has done this again, and I fixed it. After I fixed it this morning, I said, you know what, I really need to make a video, because I'm sure if this is happening to me, this is happening to other people. And I've had this bike for many, many years, since 2007 is when I purchased it. And, you know, I'm not an exercise buff. I'm not an exercise freak or anything, but I'm just somebody that likes to keep an exercise bike on hand. I do a lot of computer work. I do a lot of sitting, and I force myself for at least a half hour a day to hop up and jump onto that thing. During the COVID lockdown, I would actually jump on it for a half hour twice a day, just to keep my legs working, and so I don't grow roots and just get stuck in my chair. So essentially, I wanted to make the video because I know that if it's happening to me, it's happening to other people. And for what they want to charge you for an aftermarket one of these is just literally ridiculous. And for something that I can't explain why, if it's like a little bit of corrosion in there, or if it's just getting out of place from vibration or something. But something's going on, and all you do is just kind of take it out, put it back, and it seems to work. Will this work for you? I cannot guarantee that. But hey, if you're stuck where your buttons aren't working and you can't select anything, and you're left with a choice of buying a whole nother bike or buying one of these, why not at least take it apart and try it and see if that works? And then if it doesn't work, well, then you're going to have to take it from there. But for me, it works. So hey, if you like this video, hit like and leave some comments down there about it, if it worked for you, or if it didn't work for you, or if something else worked for you, you know, to help some people out. I know this is a photography channel, a video channel, and this doesn't really fit into the genre of what I normally put on this channel, but I just, every so often, when something weird happens, I like to make a video. I had Crocs that shrunk, you know, a pair of Crocs shoes, clogs, whatever you want to call them. They shrunk, and it was like a big mystery. And I put that video up, and that helped a lot of people. It really did. A lot of people left comments, and it's still one of my most viewed videos to this day. So I have a feeling that this might be one of those things where it can help a lot of people. Hey everybody, thank you for watching, and have a great day.